KwaZulu-Natal Education Department says it's fully prepared for the start of the 2026 academic year, assuring that all schools across the province will reopen as scheduled when the new school term begins next week. Despite the province's history of severe weather conditions that have in the past disrupted schooling and damaged infrastructure, the department says all schools are now in a state of readiness. KwaZulu-Natal Education MEC Sipho Hlomuka joins us now to chat more about the readiness for 2026. MEC, thank you so much for your time. A very good morning to you. So you've conducted oversight at some schools in the province to assess readiness. Just talk to us with regards to what you found through that assessment.
Morning to yourself and morning to the viewers, and compliment to the new year. Indeed, we must appreciate the work that is done by the officials of the department and also the organized labor and the principal in the main, because as we already dealt with the issue of readiness for this academic year. Hence, even yesterday, I visited some of the schools to check the readiness, and some of the principals have confirmed that they are ready to start teaching our learners, and our parents, they are also ready to release their children to go to school and learn. But we understand there are challenges in some of the schools, of which the department in the district and circuits and even principals, they are dealing with that, and we are working as a government to try to solve some of the challenges. Some of the challenges, you know that Department of Education KwaZulu-Natal was taken to Section 18 of the PFMA by the KZN Treasurer, which makes us sometimes difficult to just procure some of the services. But we are certainly, because most of the schools, they have received a stationery. There are schools that have not yet received a stationery, but we have engaged with the service provider because the problem, the order, he received it later, but he have confirmed that at least by next week, all schools will be in the possession of the stationery.
So you speak about some of the challenges, the MEC, and of course some of those learning materials that are needed by teachers as well as the learners, but you've also have reports on some of the challenges with regards to management issues and administrative difficulties, particularly in districts such as uThugela. How are you addressing those particular challenges?
Well, yesterday we had a meeting with the district director of uThugela. She has presented a detailed report which shows that the district is also ready. And even though they have challenges of staffing because of the shortage of staffing, of which is one of the issue of the challenge that we have been reporting to yourself or to me and to all stakeholders, because we can't hide that at the moment, we are not employing any office-based employees. We are only employing educators, and we are going to employ educators even now in January, even in February, for schools that don't have teachers, because we are aware that there are teachers that they've retired, teachers that they've resigned. So we need to replace those educators, because we don't want anyone to disrupt teaching and learning, because the future of our learners is very important.
It certainly is. And you speak about the employing of more educators. Do you have a number in terms of your most recent possible teachers that you want to bring into the system in the province? Well,
in 2 weeks to come, we'll have a detailed report. 4 days ago, I had a meeting with senior management. One of the things that I requested is to engage with principal to confirm how many educators that have left their school, so that we'll consolidate and we know in terms of the PPN how many educators are needed per school. Then we'll start the process of recruiting those educators that are needed in those schools that have challenges. Some of the schools that I attended yesterday, one of the schools is Kuleni High School. They've indicated that they are short of 3 educators, and they've said that they've been in front of the district director, and the district director have started the process to check if there are teachers that can be placed in that school. But we're doing a thorough exercise across the province, and we are going to provide the report. And as we provide the report, we'll be also recruiting those educators, because we don't want anything that will disrupt teaching and learning. The future of our learners is the future of the country. Without the education, we are nothing. That's why we are saying education is a societal matter. It needs everyone to work together with the sector, so that the future of the country will be seen.
Most certainly. So some schools in the province experienced devastating infrastructure damage due to weather conditions last year. Have these schools been fixed, and will learning resume at these particular schools that were affected?
Well, we are aware of, because of the disaster that happened last year, as you correctly indicated. But because we are working as a team, we have already started fixing some of the school. Some of the schools have not yet fixed, but the district and the head office are working together. That's why there is allocation that have been sent to districts to fast track the issue of fixing those schools. However, if there are schools that have not yet repaired, we are going to provide a temporary solution in a form of mobile classroom, while we are trying to repair those schools that have been damaged by a storm. And you know that some thing that we don't plan for, it happened, and we don't know where the storm will take place. But because we are working as a team, we're able to engage with other branches to say, let's take money from this side so that we'll fix school, so that we won't disrupt teaching and learning in our schools.
And then you also have grades 11 and 12 learners in some of the schools in the province that have already started learning for this year. Has this been a case in previous years, and what prompted this change?
Well, we've been engaging with our principal, with our SGP, and also our educators. That's why I always say we must appreciate our educators in KwaZulu-Natal, who are working under the difficult conditions, but because they love our province, they love our learners, they love the sector, education sector, they volunteer and go to school and teach our learners. So we agreed last year that we must start early to teach our learners, especially grade 11 and grade 12. But we're not going to stop them. We're also engaging even with a primary principal to say, let's also consider to open early even at the primary level, because if we focus more on foundation, that means we won't have challenge at the high school level or the secondary level, because any house that is not built, that don't have a proper foundation, for sure the roof will be bad, or the superstructure will be bad. That's why we are engaging primary leadership to say, let's also work together. Let's make sure that we have a proper foundation. We produce good learners that will be taken at the high school level.
And now the matric results are expected to be released next week. And the province last year performed at 89.5%, and that was a 3.1% increase from the previous year. Are you ready for the release of the matric results?
Our educators, they've done everything. They've taught our learners. Our learners, we believe that they responded to the questions raised during the exam period, and they're able to write what is asked by those who asked in the question paper. And we're certain that because of the work that we have put in place and the system that we have put in place, we are going to try our level best, at least to maintain what we had. However, we set our target that we must able to to increase from where we were in 2025. And we're certainly the men and the women that we are working with who are committed, even though they have serious challenges of our finances, but because they love their province, they have done everything. We must also thank the unions, the organized labor, who have been also supporting us, engaging with their members to say, even though there are challenges, but let's not compromise the education of our learners.
Well, MEC, we wish you all the best for that matric results release. Hopefully that you'll go over that 90% mark, a percentage more than what you would have gotten in 2024. That was the KwaZulu-Natal Education MEC, Sipho Hlomuka.